It's great to see you again, my junior AI scientists. I hope you're ready for another adventure. In our last episode, we started exploring how AI works, and today we're going to dive right into a fun project. We have a special guest, a tiny emoji robot who needs our help to learn about human emotions. Are you ready to train an AI together? Before we jump in, let's remember what we learned last time. In episode 1, we discovered what AI is, basically, how computers can learn new tricks from data and examples. We even saw that AI can recognize things like images or sounds when trained. Today, we're going to build on that idea. We'll actually train an AI together using one of my favorite things, emojis. Don't worry if you missed episode 1, you'll catch up in no time. I'd like you to meet our new friend, Emoto. Emoto is an emoji robot who loves emojis but has a little problem. It doesn't know what each face means. It can show a happy face or a sad face, but it doesn't truly recognize them. That's where we come in. Today, we're going to train Emoto's AI brain to understand human feelings. We'll show Emoto lots of examples of happy and sad faces so it learns which is which. Emoto is so excited to learn, and I hope you are too. Let's get our tools ready. We'll be using Google's Teachable Machine, a kid-friendly web tool that lets us train an AI without any coding. Make sure your device has a webcam or have some emoji pictures saved that we can upload. We'll gather a bunch of emoji faces, especially happy and sad ones, to show the computer. If you have a printer, you could print out emojis or even draw your own big smiley and sad faces on paper to hold up to the camera. And of course, bring along a parent, teacher, or older sibling if you want to help her. Great! Let's start teaching our AI. So how exactly can emojis teach an AI about feelings? Well, think of our AI as a little kid who has never seen emotions before. If we want to teach a child what happy means, we might show them lots of happy faces and say, "See this smile? That means happy." We do the same for sad with frowny faces. We're going to do this with our computer. We will show the AI many examples of a happy emoji and a sad emoji. The AI will look at all those examples and try to spot patterns. Maybe it will notice happy faces have upturned lips and sad faces have downturned lips. The cool part is we don't have to write any code to do this. We'll use a special tool that lets us train a machine learning model just by feeding it data. Emojis make this easy because they're simple and clear. By the end, our AI will take one look at an emoji and say, "Aha, I think that one means happy." Or, "Oh, that one's a sad face." Pretty neat, right? Now it's time to get hands-on. First, let's navigate to our AI training playground, the Teachable Machine website. I'll walk you through it. Once you're on the site, click Image Project because we want to train an image classifier. You'll see it starts with some classes named Class 1 and Class 2. Let's click on the name and change them. Type happy for Class 1 and sad for Class 2. Great job, our AI knows it will be learning 2 emotions, but it doesn't know what they look like yet. That's coming up next. Time to teach our AI what happy looks like. Let's start with the happy class. We need to give our AI plenty of examples of happy faces. If you have a webcam, click on the webcam button under the happy category. Now show a big happy emoji to the camera. You could hold up a printout or even hold another device with a smiley face on it. Each time you show an emoji, snap a picture. Try doing this with different happy emojis if you can. Maybe one with a big grin, one with a small smile. You can also click Upload and select some happy emoji images from your computer. Let's get at least 5 good happy faces in our training data. The more variety we give, like big smiles, little smiles, different styles, the better our AI will learn the general idea of happy. Next up is the sad class. We need to teach the AI what sad looks like. Now, show a sad emoji to the camera, maybe a frowny face or a crying face. Again, try to include a mix. One emoji might just have a downturned mouth, another might have a tear. They all count as sad. If you're uploading images instead, pick out a handful of sad emoji pics and upload them. Aim for maybe 5 to 10 sad faces. As you add them, you'll see the sad class filling up with thumbnails of sad emojis. Notice how we're being fair, giving it a similar number of examples for each emotion. That way, Emoto won't get confused by seeing way more of one than the other. We've done the hard work of gathering examples. Now it's the computer's turn to do some work. Click the Train Model button and watch what happens. You might see a little progress bar or spinner, and that's the AI crunching the images we gave it. The computer is looking at all the smiley pictures to find common patterns and doing the same with the sad pictures. Maybe it notices, hey, these happy ones are yellow circles with big smiles and the sad ones have little blue teardrops. It's creating its own rules to tell happy and sad apart. This is called training the model. It's like the AI is studying for a test, using the examples we gave as study material. Great job, you just taught an AI in a few clicks. Now for the big moment, let's see if Emoto's AI brain can recognize emotions now. We're going to test our model. In the Teachable Machine window, you should see a preview area. Turn on the webcam preview. Once your camera is on, hold up an emoji for our AI to see. I suggest trying one it hasn't seen, maybe a different happy emoji than the ones you trained it with, or draw a quick happy face on paper. As soon as you show it, look at what the screen says. Do you see it? The AI is giving us a reading. Perhaps it says something like happy 95%. That means it thinks with 95% confidence that the emoji you showed is happy. Hooray! If you show a sad emoji, hopefully it switches to sad. This is so cool, it's like the computer is talking in feelings now. How did our AI do? Pretty neat, right? Let's interpret what we see. Suppose you held up a big grin emoji and the AI said happy 99%. That means it was 99% sure that was a happy face. That's an A+ for our model on that test. If you showed a weepy emoji and it said sad 100%, that means it's absolutely sure it's seeing sad. Great. Now you might also notice some numbers. Those are confidence scores, basically how sure the AI is. If it ever says something like happy 60%, sad 40%, it means it's a bit unsure and leaning towards happy. AI isn't always 100% confident, and yes, sometimes it might guess wrong. That's okay. Remember, the AI's knowledge comes from the examples we gave it. Even big, real-world AIs make mistakes too. The important thing is we can learn from those mistakes. Overall, if your AI mostly got the answers right, give yourself a pat on the back. You successfully trained a machine to recognize emotions. You've tested your AI and seen it in action. Awesome. Now, a true scientist always asks, can we make it even better? If your AI made a mistake or wasn't very sure about something, the first thing to try is adding more training data. It's kind of like studying. If you read more books, you know more stuff. So maybe we should give it a few more happy and sad faces and hit train again. You might see its confidence improve. Also, think about balance. We gave equal love to happy and sad in our training, which is good. If we accidentally gave, say, 10 happy examples but only 2 sad, the AI might think everything is happy because it saw happy so much more. Now, for those of you who love a challenge, why not teach the AI another feeling? We can add a new class, maybe name it angry or surprised, and then add images for that emotion too. It's so fun to push our project further. Finally, did you notice any funny mistakes? Perhaps the AI thought a laughing with tears emoji was sad because of the tears, when actually that emoji means something is really funny. That's understandable. The poor AI doesn't know context, only what we show it. This is a great lesson. AI is powerful, but it learns exactly what we teach, no more. So we have to think carefully about the examples. Overall, improving an AI is all about more and better data and sometimes expanding its knowledge. Congratulations, you've successfully trained our friend Emoto to recognize emotions. Think about what we just did. When we started, Emoto had no clue what a happy or sad face meant. But now, after all your hard work gathering examples and training the model, Emoto's AI brain can look at a new emoji and say, oh, that one's happy, or that one's sad. You basically acted as AI teachers and the computer was your student. And it learned so well because you did a great job. This is the same kind of process real AI engineers use, just with much bigger data sets. So you've had a taste of real AI development. I hope you feel proud of what you've accomplished. You might be wondering, do real robots or computers actually try to understand feelings like we just did with emojis? The answer is yes. Our project was simple, but it's very much like things happening in the real world. For example, have you heard of a robot named Pepper? Pepper is a friendly humanoid robot that can greet people in stores. One of Pepper's special skills is reading emotions. It watches your facial expression and listens to your tone of voice to figure out if you're happy, sad, surprised, etc. So if you walk up to Pepper with a big grin, Pepper might say, "You look happy today." There are also smartphone apps and cameras that do this. Some cameras have a feature to automatically snap a picture when everyone in frame is smiling. The camera's AI is literally looking for smiles. Companies like Microsoft and others have developed AI that can identify up to 8 different emotions just from a photo. They can tell if someone in the picture looks angry, scared, or joyful. Of course, AI can't be 100% sure, but it's getting better as it learns from millions of examples. And how about toys? Imagine a toy robot pet that notices you haven't played with it in a while and feels lonely, or can tell you're upset and then plays a silly song to cheer you up. These things are being worked on right now. So the Emoji Emotion AI you built is like a mini version of technology that could someday be in your home, school, or doctor's office. Understanding emotions is a big step for AI to be more helpful and friendly to us humans. Hope today's project is fun and engaging. We will see you again in episode 3 soon. Please subscribe with us to enter the world of AI learning. Here's a neat fun fact for you. There's an entire field of study devoted to getting computers to understand emotions. It's often called emotion AI. Some people also call it affective computing. Researchers in this area work on things like making virtual assistants like Alexa or Siri recognize if you sound upset, or making educational software that can tell when a student is frustrated and might need a break. Now, we taught our AI to recognize emoji emotions, but some scientists are going even further by teaching robots to show emotions. For example, in Japan, they built an android kid named Nicola who can make facial expressions for 6 basic emotion. Nicola can smile, frown, look scared, and more, all with a very human-like face, though without hair, so a bit funny looking. When people see Nicola's expressions, they can usually tell what emotion it's trying to show. One day, robots that show emotions might be companions for people who are lonely or tools to help teach folks about feelings. It's important to remember, though, even if an AI can recognize or display emotions, it doesn't truly feel them. Only living beings like you and me feel emotions for real. But by understanding them, AI can interact with us in more friendly and helpful ways. Isn't that fascinating? Let's reflect again on what we've done today and why it's so awesome. First of all, you trained an AI system from scratch. That means you gave a machine the ability to recognize something new just by providing examples. This is the essence of machine learning. Instead of programming every little detail, we show the computer lots of data and it figures out the patterns. Second, we specifically explored how emotions can be detected by a computer. This matters because many technologies, like those friendly robots or smart apps we talked about, rely on this ability to make interactions more human-like. Third, we learned that AI isn't infallible or magical, it's as good as the info you give it. If we had only shown goofy grins and no slight smiles, our AI might think only big toothy grins are happy. This got us thinking about being good teachers to our AIs and how important it is to have good, balanced data. Finally, why does all this matter? Well, you are growing up in a world where AI is everywhere. By understanding how AI learns, you're not just a user of technology, you can be a creator of it. You might use these skills to build something that helps people, maybe an app that cheers people up when it sees they're down, or a game that gets easier if it senses the player's frustration. The sky's the limit. We've reached the end of today's adventure, and I just want to say, I am so proud of you. Emoto is proud of you too. Whether things went perfectly or you hit a few bumps, you stuck with it and learned from it. That's the spirit of a true scientist and explorer. I had a wonderful time guiding you through this. Your curiosity and creativity make these sessions special. Keep asking questions, keep tinkering, and don't be afraid to try new ideas even if they seem hard at first. I encourage you to continue playing with AI in safe and fun ways. Maybe you'll even surpass me one day as an AI teacher. I know you're eager for more, and I am too. So here's a little teaser for episode 3 of Little AI Lab. We'll have a brand new hands-on AI activity, and yes, another friendly character will join us. Here's a hint. In the next episode, we might switch senses. We taught a computer to see emotions this time. What if next time we teach one to hear or speak? Imagine training an AI to recognize different sounds or even make music. Or maybe we'll let an AI help us create some cool artwork or a story. The possibilities are endless. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. If you had fun today, you won't want to miss what's coming. So, make sure to join me and your fellow young scientists in episode 3, where we'll continue our AI adventures. See you next time.